In this video, let's talk about a different way that you can actually segment data in Google Analytics to pull some insights. This one was actually suggested by Yehoshua, the analytics ninja himself actually suggested this one. And we're gonna dive into what he was talking about here with the network reports. So we're gonna pull into our reports themselves, our audience reports, we go to technology and then network. And this really just shows you the ISPs that are sending traffic. And then what he had suggested was actually being able to sort by bounce rate to see what particular ISPs might be sending in a lot of possibly poor quality traffic. So in this case, we see all these different service providers that are coming through, but not a lot of the users coming through either. So what I would want to do is let's take a look at really maybe get rid of all this lower traffic stuff. Well, how can we do this? We can create a segment for sure by doing add segment here, but we can also temporarily segment by using our table filters. That's what we're going to do here. So we're going to go to advanced in this case, and we're going to say instead of service provider, so I want to exclude users where they are equal to, actually let's just say less than, anybody who sent less than 1,000. So where users are less than 1,000, and we're first going to apply that and see what happens there. So we're now excluding all of our service providers who are sending less than 1,000 users to our site. Okay, so now let's take a look, and we can see we've got AT&T, you've got T-Mobile, you've got Charter, Cox Communications, and you can kind of get an idea of the bounce rates and the different metrics and what even the results of those different ISPs are from in terms of, in this case, revenue or e-commerce rate. But let's further segment this down. And what I want to do is I want to find the ISPs that are sending us, these are the service providers, that are sending us the best converting e-commerce traffic. So I'm going to judge that, in this case, by e-commerce conversion rate. And we're going to further segment. Again, I'm not using segments, the advanced segments feature. I'm actually just doing this in the table filter itself so I can quickly get an idea if this is going to work for what I want. So we're going to click on edit. And now I'm saying exclude users less than 1,000, which it's already doing. And then I'm also going to say only include, in this case, include the e-commerce. I'm just going to type it in. I like doing that a lot better. So e-commerce conversion rate. So include e-commerce conversion rate greater than, in this case, let's say greater than 2%. So we're going to say greater than 2%. And now we can see e-commerce conversion rate greater than 2. So again, the site average itself is 1.7. This is just showing me all those that are greater than 2. And I've got 13 different ISPs. This is a lot easier to deal with than all that initial list of ISPs coming through. So we've got all of these ISPs that are coming through. And I can see in this case, the one that's bringing the most, now this kind of makes sense, Google. Why Google? Because this is the Google Merchandise Store account. So a lot of Google traffic coming through from Google to Google, and they're buying a lot of their own stuff, which is great. But also got a lot of traffic coming in from Time Warner. We've got Charter Communications kicking in some, so pretty decent conversion rates. Again, Google is at 3%, which is great. Comcast also at 3%. Others a little bit lower. So you've got Optimum and AT&T at 2%. But we can also get an idea as far as bounce rate. Google doesn't really have a huge bounce rate compared to something like Charter, which is almost double. So this is another great way to be able to segment data to help you to be able to ask better, more intelligent questions, slicing and dicing your data. Because remember, data in aggregate, it's not all that useful. It doesn't have a lot of usefulness. And when you start asking more advanced questions, in order to get those answers, you will need to segment. And fortunately, in Google Analytics, you've got advanced segments, but you also have these table filters where you can click and you can quickly create little mini segments of whatever you're looking for and adjust whatever you want so you can quickly and easily get the insights that you need. All right, now it is your turn. Let me know how you are actually using this video. Just do me a favor, leave a comment below. Also, be sure to like and subscribe so you're notified of other future Google Analytics videos just like this one.